Imagine this. The great stone walls of Downton Abbey rise in the mist as the sun sets behind them. Inside, the rooms are filled with quiet tension. The Crawley family, once the masters of everything here, now stand at a turning point. With Lord Grantham aging and the world outside changing faster than ever, one question hangs heavy in the air. Who will inherit Downton Abbey? Who will carry the weight of the Crawley family name, the land, the staff, the traditions, and the estate itself into the future? This isn't just about money or land. It's about keeping a way of life alive. And as we step into the third movie, fans are left wondering, who will take it all? The story of Downton Abbey is more than just a tale of rich people living in a big house. It's a deep, emotional journey about family, duty, love, and survival. The Crawley family lives in a world that is slowly fading away. The old world of English aristocracy, where titles, land, and long family lines meant everything. The great estate of Downton Abbey isn't just their home. It's a symbol of power, tradition, and legacy. But now, in this new chapter, the family faces something they've never faced so clearly before: the future. Over the years, we've seen the Crawleys survive war, heartbreak, financial trouble, and social change. They have lost loved ones, made hard decisions, and watched the world around them shift in ways they couldn't control. But through it all, one thing has stayed the same: Downton Abbey. The grand house, the estate, the land, all passed down carefully through the generations, like a precious treasure. But the rules of inheritance have never been simple here. Long ago, the Crawleys were shocked when they learned that their fortune and estate would pass not to their daughters, but to a distant male relative, Matthew Crawley. This old English law, called the entail, meant that the estate could only pass to male heirs. Even though Lord Grantham had 3 daughters, none of them were allowed to inherit the land. This led to many conflicts, heartbreaks, and surprising turns over the years. Now, as we approach the third film, the big question is back: who stands next in line? Lord Grantham is no longer young, and the world has changed so much. His daughters, Lady Mary and Lady Edith, are strong, smart women who have each shaped their own lives. His son-in-law, Tom Branson, has gone from being a simple chauffeur to a respected family member. And then, there's the next generation: little George, Sibby, and Marigold. The pressure on this family is huge. It's not just about keeping their wealth. It's about holding on to their identity, their family name, and the many people, both family and servants, who depend on the estate. For over 100 years, Downton has been the beating heart of their world. If the wrong heir takes over, or if the estate falls apart, everything they have worked for could be lost. The question of inheritance cuts to the heart of what Downton Abbey is all about. It asks, who belongs here? Who has the strength, the heart, and the wisdom to lead this family into the future? In a world where women are gaining new rights, where money struggles shape every decision, and where the past is no longer a safe place to hide, this is the moment when the Crawleys must decide what, and who, will carry them forward. In the next sections, we will look closely at each possible heir. We will explore their stories, their strengths, their weaknesses, and what they could bring to Downton if they take over. But first, let's step back and understand why this inheritance matters so much, and why it has always been at the center of Downton Abbey's story. Picture the long, empty halls of Downton Abbey at night. The walls are lined with portraits, proud faces, noble eyes, the past generations watching silently. Each portrait carries a story, each name carved into the Crawley family line. But if you look closer, you'll notice something important. Most of the faces are men. For centuries, the rules of inheritance were simple and harsh. The estate passed from father to son, or to the nearest male relative. Not to daughters, not to wives, not to outsiders. Only the bloodline counted, and only if it was male. This system, called the entail, shaped everything at Downton Abbey. It meant that even when Lord Grantham's daughters were young, smart, and capable, they could never inherit the land. Instead, the family was forced to bring in a distant cousin, Matthew Crawley, a man they had never met simply because he was the next male heir. At first, this caused tension, confusion, and heartbreak, but over time, Matthew became a beloved part of the family. His tragic death, however, reopened old wounds and left the Crawleys once again facing the hard truth. Inheritance is not about fairness. It's about rules. But the world around them has been changing. The First World War reshaped society, tearing down old class walls. Women gained the right to vote, to own property, to control their futures. The Crawleys themselves have evolved. Lady Mary now leads much of the estate's work, managing land and finances. Tom Branson, once looked down on as just the chauffeur, now helps guide important decisions. Lady Edith, long dismissed as the plain sister, has built her own publishing empire. The rules of the past no longer fit the lives they live today, and yet the laws that control the future of Downton Abbey remain old and stubborn. The entail still casts its shadow, threatening to pass the estate not to those who work hardest or love it most, but to whoever fits the legal mold. As Lord Grantham grows older, the family knows they are running out of time. Who will take over when he is gone? Will it be one of his daughters, breaking with centuries of tradition? Will Tom, the outsider-turned-family, be the one to lead? Or will the future belong to the next generation, young George, Sibby, or Marigold? Even though they are still just children? Beyond the family, there's something even bigger at stake. Downton Abbey is not just a home. It is a huge estate, with dozens of staff, acres of farmland, tenant farmers, villages, and families who depend on it. A weak or careless heir could destroy everything. A smart, brave leader could save it. The Crawleys know that one wrong decision could cost them not only their wealth, but the very heart of their family, and the way of life that has defined them for generations. As the third Downton Abbey film approaches, this is the tension that shapes the story. It's not just a question of who will inherit. It's a question of what kind of future they will inherit. Will the new leader hold on to the old ways? Or will they embrace change? Will they protect the estate and its people? Or will they watch it all crumble under modern pressures? This is the moment when past and present collide, and the Crawleys must finally decide what matters most. In the next section, we'll dive deep into the possible heirs, each one carrying their own dreams, strengths, and challenges. Who stands ready to inherit it all? And more importantly, who deserves it? Imagine standing in the grand drawing room of Downton Abbey. The fire crackles softly. The portraits seem to watch from the walls. And in front of you, 4 shadows step forward. 4 figures, each carrying the weight of expectation, each shaped by loss, love, and duty. These are not just names on paper. These are the possible heirs to Downton Abbey's future. Let's meet them, not as characters, but as people standing on the edge of history. First, Lady Mary. She's the eldest daughter, the sharpest mind, the steady hand that has kept Downton's heart beating through crisis after crisis. Mary is not just the lady of the house. She has become its protector. After the death of her beloved husband, Matthew Crawley, Mary could have turned away. But she chose to stay. She learned the land, the books, the hard work of running an estate. She knows every brick, every field, every debt. Mary is practical, fierce, and deeply loyal to Downton. But there's a problem: the old rules. Under the entail, her being a woman blocks her path to formal inheritance. Can she find a way to lead, despite the law? Can she shape the future of Downton without holding its title? Next, Tom Branson. Once he was the chauffeur, an outsider, a man of Irish roots holding political views that shook the Crawley household. But then love changed everything. Tom married Lady Sybil, the youngest Crawley daughter, and though tragedy struck when Sybil died, Tom remained tied to the family, through their daughter, Sibby. Over time, Tom's keen understanding of people, business, and modern thinking earned him respect. He became not just an in-law, but a true partner in the running of the estate. Tom represents change, the blending of old and new, the breaking down of class barriers. But does the family and the system see him as a real heir? Or is he forever just the trusted advisor? Then, there's Lady Edith, the overlooked middle sister. For years, Edith stood in Mary's shadow, often dismissed, often doubted. But Edith has quietly built a powerful life of her own. She runs a successful publishing company. She has wealth. She has ambition. Edith is no longer the insecure young woman of the early days. She is confident, driven, and independent. But would Edith even want Downton? And would the family accept her claim? Edith has always balanced her love for her family with a need to escape its shadow. Inheriting Downton would mean stepping fully back into that world, a world that never truly valued her. Finally, the next generation, George, Sibby, and Marigold. They are the future, young, innocent, and full of possibility. George, Mary's son, is the natural heir under the traditional rules. Sibby, Tom's daughter, carries both Crawley blood and Branson spirit. Marigold, Edith's daughter, holds a secret past but now stands proudly in the family line. But they are still children. If the estate were to pass to one of them, it would mean years of guardianship, of others holding the reins. Could the family hold together through that long wait? Or would power struggles tear them apart before the next heir comes of age? Each of these figures stands on the edge of inheritance, each with their own dreams, fears, and claims. But inheritance at Downton is not just about who wants the estate, it's about who can keep it alive. The weight of history, the pull of tradition, and the demands of the future all crash together here. In the next section, we'll look at the obstacles that stand in the way, the legal walls, the emotional divides, and the deep, painful question that no one dares to speak aloud. What if Downton can't survive at all? The walls of Downton Abbey stand tall, but listen closely. You can almost hear the cracks. Not the kind you see in stone or wood, but the kind that live in the air between people, in the whispers behind closed doors, in the weight of old secrets and new fears. It's not enough to know who might inherit Downton. The real question is, can anyone keep it standing? First, the law itself stands like a stone wall. The old English system of entail wraps around the estate like iron chains. No matter how much Lady Mary runs the estate or how much Tom Branson contributes, the law still says, the next male heir. This is not a system that rewards hard work or love. It's a system built on bloodlines and tradition. Even if the family wants to change it, they may be too late. Unraveling centuries of legal bindings is not a matter of simple choice. It's a battle against the law itself. Then there's the financial weight pressing down on Downton. These grand estates look beautiful from the outside, but inside they are bleeding money. The land, the buildings, the staff, they all cost a fortune to maintain. For years, Lord Grantham and Lady Mary have fought to keep the estate afloat, cutting costs, making deals, and facing down modern pressures. But no matter how clever they are, the world around them keeps changing. Taxes rise, farmers struggle, city life pulls people away, and luxury no longer pays as it once did. Can the next heir find a way to save the estate financially, or is Downton simply too heavy a burden to carry into the future? But the hardest obstacle of all may be the emotional weight. Inheritance is not just about land and money. It's about belonging. It's about who feels trusted, who feels respected, who feels loved. Lady Mary carries the scars of years spent fighting to be heard as a woman in a man's world. Tom Branson struggles with being both family and outsider, always balancing his Irish roots and working-class background against the aristocratic world he married into. Lady Edith, no matter how much success she builds, must still face the old pain of being overlooked, underestimated, and pushed aside. These are wounds that money cannot heal, and they shape every conversation, every decision, every quiet glance across the dinner table. And above all, there's the shadow of change. The Dowager Countess once ruled the family with sharp wit and unshakable will, but her voice is gone now. Without her, the family must find its own way. The world is no longer waiting for aristocratic families to catch up. The world is moving on, fast. Cars, telephones, women's rights, business, politics. Everything outside Downton's gates is rushing forward. Will the next heir try to cling to the old ways, or will they have the courage to let go of tradition and embrace the future? Here's The hard truth. Even if the perfect heir is chosen, there is no guarantee Downton Abbey will survive. The estate is more than just stone and soil. It's a living, breathing system, one that needs money, leadership, love, and purpose. Without all of these working together, even the grandest inheritance can slip away, leaving only memories. The next section we will explore the fan theories and clues, the hints buried in past stories and characters that may reveal who truly stands to inherit it all. But remember this, in the world of Downton Abbey, nothing is ever simple, and the greatest danger may come not from outside threats but from within.